Hi, I'm Grandpa David. My grandchildren love me to read children's stories to them. What a gift to have grandchildren to be able to read to them. I'm very happy. Today I'm going to read a special book called Denslow's Humpty Dumpty. The book was published, was printed and people could buy the book, was published in 1903. About 120 years ago. Such a long time ago. People rode horses to work then. Okay, let's look more closely at the cover of the book. What an amazing illustration of Humpty Dumpty. Look at those colours, lovely patches, and clothes he's wearing. Denslow drew this illustration or drawing. Do you think Denslow drew a good picture? This book is really about old Humpty Dumpty's son, also called Humpty Dumpty, after his father. The original Humpty Dumpty in the fairy tales or stories many of you may know was his father. Most of this book is about younger Humpty Dumpty. We'll call him Humpty, after his father could not be put back together again by the horsemen, the king's horsemen. It's about Humpty and how he saves himself from the same problem, getting cracked and ending up in a mess on the floor that could not be put back together again. I'll give you a hint how this may go. Have you ever had a boiled egg? Let's go to the first page. Humpty Dumpty. Can you see Humpty Dumpty up there in the right-hand corner? He looks pretty happy, but not wearing much. Just his slippers, I think. Let's start. Humpty Dumpty was a smooth, round little chap with a winning smile and a great golden heart in his broad breast. You know, if you open an egg, they have a yolk. And that must have been Humpty's heart. Only one thing troubled Humpty, and that was that he might fall and crack his thin and white skin. He wished to be hard all the way through, for he felt his heart wobble when he walked or ran about. So when he went to the black hen for advice, this hen was kind and wise, so she was just the one for him to go to with his trouble. Okay, just getting down to the bottom of the first page, getting close to the second. Your father, said the hen, old Humpty, was very foolish and would take warning from no one. That means he wouldn't listen, even if he was going to be in danger. You know what the poet said of him. This is the old story we all know about Humpty Dumpty. Humpty Dumpty sat on a wall. Humpty Dumpty had a great fall. All the king's horses and all the king's men couldn't put Humpty Dumpty together again. The hen said, so you see, your father, Humpty Dumpty, came to a very bad end just because he was reckless and would not take a hint from anyone. That means not even listen to anyone that could help him. He was much worse than a scrambled egg, which means he was really a messed up egg when he fell. The king, his horses and his men, all they could do for him was very little, but his case was so hopeless. And the hen shook her head sadly. Just moved on to the next page. Let's have a look at the picture at the top of this page. See the king, he's looking down at the poor, smashed, broken Humpty Dumpty. So smashed, so broken that, as the story said, he couldn't be put back together again. Moving on. So what you must do, continued the hen as she wiped a tear from her bright blue eye. She was sad because Humpty's father had got so smashed. What you must do is to go to the farmer's wife next door and tell her to put you into a pot of boiling water, boiling hot water. Your skin is so hard and smooth, it will not hurt you. And when you come out, you may do as you wish. Now let's have a think about what just happened. It's okay to put eggs into hot water to boil them and make hard-boiled eggs, but it's not okay for kids to put even their hands into very hot water. So just be very careful. This is a fairy tale. What Humpty is being asked to do is not what kids do. Just moved on to the next page, and the hen has told you, Humpty, he needs to go and see the farmer's wife and ask her to hard-boil him. Once he's been hard-boiled, when you come out, she said, "You may do as you wish." It's the hen talking. "Nothing can break you. You can tumble about to your heart's content, and you will not break, nor even dent yourself." So Humpty rolled in next door. Maybe it was easier to roll than walk. He's an egg after all, and told the farmer's wife that he wanted to be put into boiling hot water, as he was too brittle to be of any use to himself or to anyone else. Can you see the picture at the bottom of the page? It's you, Humpty Dumpty, talking to the farmer's wife. Looks like she's getting ready to cook some apples. Let's start the new page. The farmer's wife said, "Indeed you shall. What is more, I shall wrap you up in a piece of spotted calico." That's a nice piece of spotted material. Can you see that in the picture? Wrap you up in that piece of calico so that you will have a nice coloured dress. You will come out looking as bright as an Easter egg. So she tied him up in a gay new rag, gay means pretty, and dropped him into the copper kettle of boiling water that was on the hearth. In these times, people used their fireplace, the hearth, to do some cooking. So that's where Humpty was being put in the pot. It was pretty hot for Humpty at first, but he soon got used to it and was happy, for he felt himself getting harder every minute. Can you see the picture again of the kettle? Looks a bit different to the kettles we see these days sometimes, but that's what it used to be called. Look like that. There he is. You can see the farmer's wife's hands there about to put Humpty into the boiling water. That's only okay for eggs, not for people. On to the next page. Wow, what an amazing picture of Humpty Dumpty getting out of the kettle, the copper kettle. An amazing costume. Let's start. Humpty Dumpty did not have to stay in the water long before he was quite well done, and as hard as a brick all the way through. So, untying the rag, he jumped out of the kettle as tough and as bright as any hard-boiled egg. The calico had marked him from head to foot with big, bright red spots. He was as gaudy as a circus clown. Gaudy means as pretty and as colourful as a circus clown, and as nimble and as merry as one. Wow, what a good time he's going to have. We've already moved on to the next page. The farmer's wife shook with laughter to see the pranks the little fellow, that's Humpty, did, for he frolicked and frisked about from table to chair and mantelpiece. Mantelpiece is a piece of wood above the fireplace for putting vases and things like that. He would fall from the shelf to the floor just to show how hard he was. And after thanking the good woman most politely for the service she had done him, he walked out into the sunshine, on the clothesline, like a rope dancer, to see the wide, wide world. Didn't have to worry anymore about breaking into pieces and not being able to be put together again. He was hard-boiled. Couldn't happen. And he looked so good. What about the picture at the top right? You can see him jumping from the mantelpiece, not afraid that he would break. What an interesting next page. No writing on this page. It's a terrific illustration, though. Nice drawing by Denslow. There's Humpty Dumpty, and he's climbing along a tightrope. We read about that in the previous page. Oh, doesn't the farmer's wife look so happy for him? What a smile Humpty Dumpty has in his face. On to the next page. Oh, look at the picture of Humpty Dumpty in the top left-hand corner. He's sitting on a wall, and he doesn't look afraid. Wow, let's start. Of the travels of Humpty Dumpty, much could be said. He went east, west, north and south. He sailed the seas. He walked and rode on the land through all the countries of the earth. And all his life long, he was happy and content. Content means happy with what you're doing. Sometimes as a clown, in a circus, he would make fun for old and young again. As a wandering minstrel, he twanged the strings of his banjo and sung a merry song. Ah, so that's what Humpty's doing in the picture on the top left. He's twanging the strings on his banjo. Twanging just means plucking the strings. He looks so happy, and he's probably singing too. On this next page, looks like Humpty Dumpty's in the circus as a clown and riding a mouse. Look at that. The mouse and Humpty Dumpty riding on its back, jumping over a lovely fence, just like people, jockeys, ride horses. He's having so much fun, is Humpty. You know what? I think the mouse is smiling too. The next page has a bit more of the story. We talked about Humpty Dumpty twanging the strings of his guitar before. Well, he's still doing it here. And he's singing a merry song. And so on through all his travels, Humpty would lighten the cares of others and make them forget their sorrows and fill every heart with joy. Can you see the picture of Humpty singing to the man sitting in his comfy chair? This man is having trouble hearing, but he's got a special phone tube in his ears so he can hear better, and Humpty is looking so happy and helping him feel so much better as he sings into the end of the tube. That's really nice of you, Humpty. On to the last page of the story. But wherever Humpty went, in sunshine or in rain, he never forgot to sing the praises of the wise black hen, nor the good, kind farmer's wife, who had started him in his life, who had hardened him against sorrow, with a big heart in the right place, for the cheer and comfort of others. What a lovely story. So interesting. Can you see the picture in the top right-hand corner? There's Humpty. Oh, in his lovely spotted clothes and saying hello to a little girl. Looks like she might be thinking about going to bed. She's got her doll with her. And he's just helping make her happy. Just like I hope this story has made you happy too. About to stop here, but if you want to learn a little bit more about this book, then continue. Thank you. Hi, back again. Just to let you know a little bit more about this book. Earlier I mentioned that this was published 1903, a long time ago. So some of the language may seem a bit different. And if you're reading this or reading this with your child, please, or grandchild, please feel free to stop at any time and explain more about the book and the language. This book, as I mentioned earlier, was published in 1903, and is a copy of it, of this rare book, is stored in the USA Library of Congress in its rare collection section. I've used a PDF copy of this book to make the video, and I'd like to thank the Library of Congress for making this out of copyright book available to everybody. Images of pages from the PDF copy are made using a program that's available to anybody. Hopefully my explanations help bridge the time gap, but if you don't agree, that's good. Talk to your child, grandchild about them. If you want to check out the original source of the book, you'll find information about that in the citation section below. Good luck. I'd like to thank Denslow, an amazing book, and I'd like to thank the Library of Congress for making books like this, and so many others as well, available to the public. Thank you to both. Bye. Enjoy.